Good morning, kings and queens of the land. Good morning to all the liberated zones in Africa. Let me mention them again. Burkina Faso, under the leadership of President Ibrahim Traore, imported to mention Mali under the leadership of President Assimi Goita, also imported to mention Niger under the leadership of President Assimi Abdurrahman Tian, and critically important to mention in the British colony South Africa, the liberated zone in KwaZulu-Natal, under the leadership of the MK Party, under the leadership of President Jacob Kedehlekisa Zuma. Good morning to all the sons and daughters of the soil. Good morning to the royals. My name is Mngoni Mkonto. This is the royal opinion. I was actually taken down in the past, in my last attempt to talk to my people when I was trying to give a discourse. In the first instance, I was actually taken down. I spoke for more than 30 minutes, but only 10 minutes is available on YouTube. And I couldn't be let to finish my. Um I was not left alone to finish my discourse. However, let me attempt again to talk about the issues that I wanted to address. My language is very clean. I'm not using any terms that YouTube does not like or algorithm that does not like. The only problem is the message that I deliver, because the message that I deliver, it delivers big blows into the system as it reveals the truth as it is for black children and black people to be able to see naked the system. Let me start again. The finance minister failing to uh, I was talking about the reasons why the finance minister failed to deliver their budget vote as expected yesterday. I gave a history of the colonial tax. Click the like button and subscribe if you are coming here for the first time. Make sure you like the live stream so that it can be distributed to more people. Click the like button as soon as you join. I don't have internet problem. When I start to have a internet problem, it's because of the message that I'm uh, giving. That is the reason why uh, the system does not want me to be heard. Is the message. So I was talking about how they forced black people into working for wages. Black people initially they did not like working for wages. Black people, when the colonial masters arrived in Africa, black people were running their economies based on agriculture. It was agricultural based economy. People waking up, going to work in the morning until evening, working directly for their food, not working for currency. These days, people go and work for currency in order to take the currency to get the food. But before the arrival of colonialism in Africa, black people did not work for wages. They did not have the currency. The arrival of the white men in South Africa was resisted. The slave wages was resisted by black people. The colonial masters. I spoke about the reason why they introduced, let me say, the reason VAT was introduced. First, the reason VAT is introduced was, or tax was introduced, was to help the colonial administration to run its affairs of oppressing black people. That is the first reason. And the second reason was to force black people into uh, slave wages, because black people refused or rejected the idea of working for money. Initially, when white people arrived, black people could not work for white people, even when white people were paying well. Black people did not like the idea of going and working for money, and do what with the money, because they did not need the money for anything. So when they resisted to go and work for wages, the white men introduced their tax on black people. The tax which was introduced on black people was to, the first one was the head tax. The head tax means every black person who build a head in South Africa should pay the colonial master some money, because they build a head in the land of their queen. And there was another tax called the poll tax, which they were taxing individuals for existing. And this tax was needed to be paid in cash, in money, which black people did not have, because they did not have the currency. So black people were forced into slaving for the wages in order to pay the white men, so that they can continue to exist in South Africa. Some black families had arrangement that maybe half of the brothers will go and work half a year and come back home, and the half of the other brothers go and work for another half a year and come back, so that they continue to pay their tax while they still keep take care of what they know as taking care of their families. That's how black people resisted against this slavery. So this tax help white people to force black people into this colonial economy. The money that was collected from black people was to help the colonial administration to have power over black people, and to ensure that they are always in poverty. The way they know how to exist should be abolished. These taxes were introduced in the 1700s, In actually in 1600, when they first set up the colonial administration in South Africa, they also introduced taxes from they wanted black people to pay tax. So if you pay in kettles, then the kettles will soon be finished. So you need to go and work for the white man so that the white man will give you the cash. Because it's only the white man who had the cash by then he can give you the cash so you can go and pay the tax as black people were required to pay. First, the head tax only means every black person who built a head in the land of their forefathers should be taxed. Every black person who built a head in the land of his father should be taxed for building a head. And there was another tax called the poll tax. Poll tax means the head tax, meaning every man who's got a head working in the land of the British Queen, in the land of their forefathers, should be taxed for having a head or for existing in that land. They owe their allegiance to the British Queen for just existing in that land. So let them pay head tax. And this head tax is needed in cash, which black people did not have. They had to go and work for this money in order to pay the colonial administration for them to be able to exist in their own land. That was the foundation of colonialism and colonial administration. What we see today as police, as army, as political parties, as everything is colonial administration. Colonial administration, that's what is happening. Parliament is a way which the colonial master has set up to administer black people and to collect taxes from black people, to take money from black people. That is what uh, parliament is about. So meaning black people have been forced into becoming slaves through the introduction of taxes. Black people at some stage were taxed for their cattle. Each cattle was taxed a particular amount, and they were not allowed to keep more than at some stage they were not allowed to keep more than 12 cows per person in order to force them or to make it difficult for them to manage or to sustain their families, because black people used to have big families. They wanted to reduce the structure of the black family to become the mother, the father, and two children. But at that time, the family structure of the black man was huge and it was self sustained. So they wanted to reduce it, suffocate it as much as they can, and Their best weapon that they implemented was taxes. How should the government of the people, work when it comes to collections? The government of the people should not collect from the people of the country. The government of the people should actually be set up as a business which is going to make profit on behalf of the citizens of South Africa. Any political party which was supposed to campaign, it was supposed to be uh, administrators, business administrators who are campaigning to take over. That's why, like, I like the approach that Donald Trump has taken, that business administration takes over the running of the country, because the running of the country is a serious business. It's a very big business. The country has the reason why we should have government in the first place is because the government has got resources, and these resources, natural resources. So the land, not necessarily government. The government does not have resources. The people or the land in which we were born, there are resources which need to be shared among us. So these resources, for us uh, to be able to share the resources among us without a fight, then we need administration. And this administration should not collect from the people. The administration that we're talking about should actually be able to make profit on behalf of the people. If they are running the administration as a business, then they should be able to make profit. The country should be able to use the country's resources to trade with other countries in order to make profit for the sake of its citizens. It's like a father saying for the daughter or for the son, you will need to pay me for me to take care of you. Instead of the father going out to work to take care of the children, the father says, you will have to pay me for me to take care of you. It's senseless. At the end of the day, the colonial administrations are the ones who set up the uh, colonial tax, are the ones who will decide where to spend their colonial tax. Definitely, the money was not meant to be spent on black people. That's why all the money which is collected from black people will end up in white companies through government contracts, through government spending. So all the money will end up in private hands. All the money which was collected from black people in the name of VAT, in the name of tax, all the money which was collected from black people will end up in the hands of white people through the administration of government, because the administration is set up for colonial rule. In South Africa, since the structure was set up, uh, the colonial tax has never stopped since on black people. The colonial tax has never stopped since it started in the 1600. Black people have got more than 500 years of being abused and paying tax. to the white people, while the white people were exploiting their resources, while the white